Mike Reed, Dan Prisman, Brad Gaston officiating today. We're underway. Wyoming has the first possession.
Look for Wyoming to really massage the shot clock, especially on this first possession, to try to set the tempo and the mindset of their team.
For the visiting team to come into a packed house, a loud place, what's that like for them?
Well, they're going to try to take the crowd out of it by slowing this tempo down, which is what they do anyway. Expect a very low possession game and a lot of short shot clock possessions.
Graybo tried a long two and missed, and Hornung comes down with the first rebound on the Rams' first possession.
And Wyoming's close home court loss to the Lobos. Their three perimeter people really shot it in.
Washington with the foul as Iverson tried to dunk over him. First foul of the game to the senior out of Lake Charles, Louisiana, Leonard Washington.
Colton Iverson is a handful, 6'10", 265, and really quick feet. Leonard Washington goes right after him. Bad news for the Wyoming Cowboys, though, to see Washington get a foul this early in the game.
Yankton, South Dakota, Iverson.
Yep.
Played for his dad, Chuck. His dad, Chuck, also is drafted by the Seattle Sonics in the NBA in Memphis. The Tams, remember them, Coach?
Sure,
the ABA.
The old ABA team. This kid is interesting. Larry Shyatt recruited him at Florida. He actually committed to Florida, and Larry said we messed around and fouled it up and took another kid. He said this kid has gone on to be a great college player.
Oh, 1-0 start. Gilmore hands to Graybo. Dribble handoff.
Just a little false motion here, Tim, again, to kind of tempo it a little bit.
Gilmore against New Mexico on Wednesday night had 5 3-pointers.
Gilmore has had 15 and 15, a much needed scoring lift for these Cowboys.
Smith on the miss, and Iverson battling for the loose ball comes away with it. Eichmeyer's got it.
You won't see Wyoming get many second shots. Colorado State, the leading rebounding team in the nation, at almost plus 14.
Greg Smith traveled, turned it over. Look at the tail of the tape for this game as far as Wyoming is concerned.
Right here is going to be huge tonight. Plus 13, almost 14 rebounds a game. They just dominate the glass.
And minus 1.9 for Wyoming in that category, so that's going to be a key. Certainly the Cowboys will have to tangle with Iverson and Hornung underneath. There's Nance with a basketball. This is over to Gilmore. And Smith battling with Washington. It's a held ball with the possession arrow favoring Colorado State.
Watch the bodies fly around. It's February. It's conference time. It's a rivalry game. Looked like they were diving for a $100 bill there.
I hope not. That'd be a violation of some sort.
Of some sort. I'm sure the NCAA could find fault there.
In the low block, it is Iverson. Turnaround hook is caught. Colton Iverson. He averages 14 a game, and he's on his way now with the first 3 points for Colorado State.
Well, Larry Nance Jr. giving up about 50 pounds down there. If Iverson really gets going, Wyoming's going to have to come double team that low post catch.
3-ball, Graybo short. Hornung skying for the rebound.
Not a smell of an offensive rebound yet for the Cowboys.
Meyer guarded by Gilmore. Now they give underneath the dish to Hornung, and a foul is called, but Dorian Green ended up running over his man. An offensive foul and a turnover.
Boy, that was a break for the Cowboys. They could ill afford to have their leading scorer and rebounder, Leonard Washington, pick up his second foul there. Dorian Green playing his 118th game, not just playing it, starting 118 games in his career.
That's a lot in college basketball.
He has started every game that he's been around. And that's a lot in college basketball. You're exactly right.
Green out of Lawrence, Kansas. And speaking of Lawrence, and Lawrence today, the Jayhawks lost as Green knocks down the three and ties the game. So the Jayhawks losing to Oklahoma State. Colorado State now has the nation's third longest home win streak. Kansas had won 33 in a row and 18 straight overall. They go down today in Dorian Green's hometown. Hornung outreaches the Cowboys. Darius Gilmore had a hand on it, but Hornung able to rip it away from him. Now Smith is going to be fouled on the perimeter. As Josh Adams trying to guard him, and Adams picks up his first personal foul. Adams out of Chaparral High School in Parker, Colorado. Led Chaparral to the 5A state title a year ago.
Well, Tim, it's interesting. Wyoming has chose to put Big Leonard Washington on Hornung, and even though Hornung made 3 3-point goals last game, they're going to gap him and dare him to shoot it from out there.
Iverson, the transfer from Minnesota, missed off the glass. Hornung gets the rebound.
Well, that kid just has a great nose for rebounding. He's a great tracker when the ball goes up, and he goes after all of them.
Eichmeyer for 3. Les Eichmeyer knocks it down from long range.
Eichmeyer struggled shooting the ball in his last game, only 2 for 10 and 1 for 7, even though they beat Boise 77-57. Wes Eichmeyer, first team all-conference last year. Expect to find him there again this year.
Green tapped it. Smith the rebound. Rams on the run. Smith from the middle. Kicks it back out to Eichmeyer. And a loose ball taken away by Nance, but a foul behind the play called on Pierce Hornung. That'll be his first. Rebounding has been a big key for the Rams, 3rd in the nation. And right now a total of 888, 5th in the nation. And leading 6-0 in rebounding so far. Rams up early in Moulton's at Southern Miss. And getting a great opportunity for him to come out west. He's a California guy anyway. Puts him a little closer to home here at Colorado.
Well, he's played in the Rocky Mountain, or coached in the Rocky Mountain area. His first head coaching job at the University of Idaho. He went from there to Utah State.
Look on the miss. You followed him at Idaho.
I did follow him at Idaho. He's been very successful everywhere he's been. He's one of 3 coaches in the Mountain West Conference with over 400 wins. He, Steve Alford, and of course, Steve Fisher.
Well, Josh Adams walking around a little gingerly down the other end of the floor. May have turned an ankle.
Josh Adams starting his 13th game as a freshman. Big-time athlete for a kid 6'3", and a terrific defender for a freshman. Usually that is the last thing to come into place for a freshman. This kid can really guard you.
He'll get looked at right now. That's his second foul. That ball tipped in. And the Rams now leading it 8-3. Well, Larry Shyatt certainly cannot afford to lose Josh Adams for very long. Darius Gilmore tries the 3. And the reason is Shyatt's rotation is thin as it is.
Very, very thin. They have in conference play 4 of their top 10 minutes played in the league belongs to Wyoming. They're just not alert on the inbounds pass. Wyoming's defense can ill afford to give up one that easy.
Hornung with that basket on an inbound pass from Green. Rams with the ball again on the curl. It's Eichmeyer underneath Iverson. Iverson doubled. And the ball tipped in by Hornung. Here's Hornung now with 4. And it's a 10-3 Colorado State lead.
Hornung coming off a terrific game, their last game in the win over Boise State. 23 points, 13 rebounds. Watch him just hunt this one down. Get there from the perimeter. Right there he starts. And quick jumper and great instincts for the ball.
Well, Iverson just such a big body in there. 6'10", 261, the 5th-year senior.
We'll watch Hornung there just hold off Nance Jr. physically. Again, Hornung, a senior with over 100 games as a Ram here. And I mentioned what great experience this Colorado State team has. 5 seniors in the lineup, 2 of them 50-year seniors. Reminds me much of the Air Force team that has 4 seniors in the lineup who knocked off San Diego State today. Air Force, that team, Tim, of seniors, that group of seniors, didn't win a conference game as freshmen.
7-0 run for Colorado State. Wyoming 1 of 7 from the field so far.
And I don't believe they have a rebound yet, do they?
Do not. Hornung has 4 of the 6 CSU rebounds.
Colorado State just playing with great energy on defense. This crowd really into it, and I have no doubt the Rams feeding off of this crowd.
Gilmore tried to feed one inside for Derek Cook Jr. Goes out of bounds. Back to the Rams.
Tim, I don't think the Cowboys have driven the ball to the paint or got a paint catch yet. Everything has come in and around that three-point line, and credit to Ram and Larry Stacy's defense has just been outstanding in the first 7 minutes.
And a traveling violation whistled against Eichmeyer. Took an extra step. He got whistled. 4th turnover for Colorado State.
Which is interesting. They only had 5 turnovers the entire game against Boise State earlier in the week. Both these teams very efficient with the ball. 7 times Wyoming this year has had 10 or less turnovers. 2 very well coached teams, 2 very efficient teams.
Leonard Washington trying to get in the game for Wyoming. Left-handed hook. Can't get the roll. The attempt by Cook underneath. He comes up with a loose ball, and the Rams do not get the rebound that time. That time the Cowboys got it.
Cowboys' first rebound, Leonard Washington's first shot and first catch in and around the paint.
Smith tipped it out of bounds. Wyoming will maintain possession with 21 to shoot once they put it in play.
Colorado State just making it tough to get a catch, let alone to get a good shot.
Riley Grayboe from nearby Boulder, Colorado, inbounding. And Gilmore for 3. Got it. Darius Gilmore. He's got a good touch from the outside, the 5'10" guard out of Baltimore. Got some East Coast flavor on the floor. Gilmore from Baltimore and Cook from Washington, D.C. And another bucket for Pierce Hornung.
Or back home we call that just horsing it in. That was not pretty or graceful, but he just muscled that one in the basket.
Well, Hornung, the senior from Arvada, Colorado, has the last 6 points for the Rams. And the loose ball. Oh, a traveling violation whistled on Derek Cook Jr.
Watch Pierce Hornung, the senior here who leads the league in rebounding, just muscle this one in over a pretty stout Leonard Washington at 6'7", 235. Hornung just a tough customer.
Screen by Iverson. Pick and roll. And the finish. One of the oldest plays in the game right there.
You know what was so impressive about that at 6'10", 265. What a great catch by the big Colorado State center, Colton Iverson.
5 points for Iverson. Washington trying to get to the basket. Hornung reached in. Grayboe comes up with the ball. It's kicked. Colorado State on an 11-3 run right now. The student body on their collective feet. Pick and roll, and Iverson with a 2-handed flush. Rams leading at the timeout. 14. The arena. This game's allotment of tickets to the public was sold out on Tuesday.
Well, a border war, as we call it.
They left 1,000 tickets for the students, and those were snapped up rather quickly. Riley Grayboe with the basketball for Wyoming. That sets him a screen. Skip pass goes over to Jason McManaman. He is from Torrington, Wyoming. And a 3-ball is good. As McManaman, 6'5", and a newcomer to the program. Best player in the state a year ago for Wyoming in the high school ranks. Knocks down a triple. Smith backing in. Fadeaway jumper no good, but fouled. And the foul away from the ball. It's an offensive foul. Whistled on Colorado State.
A little extracurricular away from the ball. Wyoming kind of hitting Colorado State with some odd matchups here. Watch on this left-hand side of the screen if we can get it in the picture there.
It was Daniel Bejarano.
Transfer from the University of Arizona. Both him and Iverson were sitting out last year. And Tim Miles left the program. Pretty nice recruiting class built in for Larry Eustachy as he took over.
Talking to Larry yesterday, he gave Tim Miles a lot of credit for the success that this team is having this year. Miles now the head coach at Nebraska. And a traveling violation on Leonard Washington. Another turnover for the Cowboys.
Leonard Washington can execute that play. Not many can, but I think he just got in a hurry, and obviously big Colton Iverson standing there didn't help the situation any. But he has great feet, and I've seen him pull that off several times this year.
14-9, 5-point lead. Octius with the ball to Eichmeyer, swings it left Green. All three of Wyoming's field goals have been three-pointers. Eichmeyer's runner. He'll fall.
I talked about Eichmeyer's great middle game in our open. No, I think that's a lost part of college basketball. Kids can get to the rack and they can shoot in from three. Not many have that great middle game that Eichmeyer does.
To Graybowl, guarded by Green. Washington way up top. McManaman will try another three. And the ball tipped around. And a foul is going to be whistled on Larry Nance.
Tim, it's almost like the Cowboys have to settle for a so-so look at three because they can't get any other shots. They are, again, I'm not sure that the Cowboys have penetrated off the dribble to the paint yet. Colorado State doing a great job of guarding the ball.
Iverson checks out, the transfer from Minnesota, fifth-year senior. Coming in for Wyoming, Jack Bentz. Bentz from Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Hasn't played very much this season, but we saw Adams with a tender ankle go out. He hasn't come back in a while, so Larry Scheib getting deeper into his bench. Eichmeyer spinning away, and where's that one go? And the rebound taken down by Bentz.
Colorado State, as if they needed another advantage, a much, much deeper team than the Wyoming Cowboys. Remember, the Cowboys' second leading scorer, Luke Martinez, had to leave the team and school, which really had an effect against a already offensively challenged team.
Bentz with the basket. That's the first non-three-pointer scored by Wyoming. Makes it a 5-point lead.
And after I'd just given that long soapbox speech about not penetrating, the kid comes off the bench, ice cold, takes it right down the middle to a layup.
Eichmeyer going to the basket. Trying to use the glass. Octius to Smith. Octius back to Smith. Open. In the corner now is Octius.
Wyoming playing some very good half-court man-to-man defense themselves. They lead the league in the least amount of points giving up.
Bejarano took it away from Bentz, and he ended up going under the end line. That's a turnover. Back to Wyoming.
You know, Tim, one of the great characteristics of this Wyoming Cowboy team, it looks like they're being dominated by Colorado State, and you look up and they're down 2 possessions, down 5 points. They style of play, their tenacity, they just hang in there and hang in there. Colorado State not quite as quick to the ball now in defense as they were when they started the game. With all that energy and feeding off the crowd, it's kind of settled into just a grinded out affair now.
Bentz traveling, gives the ball back to the Rams. 8:32 left, first half. On to Jenny Kavnar and Joe Cravens. Tim Neverett at Moby Arena sold out today. Dorian Green re-entering the game for Colorado State. The rebounding picture. Pierce Hornung alone. He's just come back in off the bench with 5 rebounds. The entire Wyoming team with only 4.
Pierce Hornung reminds me of Moses Malone.
Reverse layup. No. And the ball swatted down by Cook.
In that when Moses Malone said, "Why are you such a good rebounder?" he said, "I just go fetch it." And that's what Hornick does. He just goes and fetches it.
And right there, Darius Gilmore went and fetched a basket.
How about that? I spoke too soon about not being able to get to the paint.
8 points for Gilmore, just a 3-point game. Colorado State has missed their last 4 field goals, and they give it back to Wyoming, who might have a chance to tie with this next possession. But Darius Gilmore out of Baltimore, Maryland. Nice looking lay-in right there.
Back in, they have the ability to create the best possible shot. We'll see how the bench steps up for Wyoming.
5-0 and bench scoring right now. Thanks, Jenny. A 3-point game. 7:50 left first half. Gilmore and Grable in the backcourt with Bentz. Gilmore being guarded by Octius. Bit of a screen for Gilmore. He tries a three, and the rebound Iverson. Colorado State's been in a bit of a drought after having a nice run early on.
Colorado State at one point led 14-6. Wyoming slowly crawling back into it.
Short by Bejarano.
Another flat-footed rebound by Hornick. Watch how many he chases down and just either catches flat-footed or picks up off the floor.
Kicked out of bounds by Leonard Washington of Wyoming, so the Rams will have possession with 23 seconds on the shot clock. 7:04 to go on the game clock. Bejarano will put it in play. Now, the last time Dorian Green put one in play from that spot, Hornick was able to score over the lackluster Wyoming defense.
Lack of attention. More points are scored on in-out-of-bounds plays with the defense just not being alert than because of execution of the play.
Colton Iverson fouled on the play by Larry Nance Jr. That's his second, so Iverson will go to the line. He's 1 for 2 in the game from the strike.
Well, he is a big human being, isn't he? They list him at 6'10". He looks every inch of 6'10", 265, with not much fat on him.
As you mentioned, he sat out last year after transferring from University of Minnesota, from South Dakota originally. Cook comes back in for Wyoming, getting a rest will be Nance with 2 fouls.
I bet in South Dakota they say he's big enough to go bear hunting with a switch. I bet that's been said about him somewhere in South Dakota.
Well, it's been said in Colorado tonight.
Yes, it has.
Anderson missed that one. And a lane violation. So Iverson will get another shot.
Mistake by Riley Grable, who does not make many mistakes. The point guard for Wyoming, the sophomore from Colorado.
Again long, but Bejarano with the rebound. Fresh shot clock for Wes Eichmeyer and company. Dorian Green thought about setting up for the 3 for a moment. Bejarano off the pick to Hornick, looking for the handoff. Gives it to Green. They switch defensively. Grable on Green now with Iverson working against Cook. Shot clock will go down to 10 seconds. Green, pull-up pop. And he's fouled on the shot by Grable. And he will go to the line to shoot 2. First foul on Riley Grable.
Well, Riley Grable, I was just singing his praises because he doesn't make many mistakes. The cardinal sin of defense is fouling a jump shooter, especially with a short shot clock. He really let the Rams off the hook there. Rams now 4 straight missed free throws. Did Colton Iverson with a hat trick last time with 3 straight.
Green gets that one. A 17-13 4-point lead for Colorado State. As Jenny mentioned early on in the telecast, the Rams have won 25 straight on their home court. Their last loss was to the Larry Eustachy coached Southern Miss Golden Eagles. 12 straight as a coach as the Washington scores. Eustachy's won 12 straight as the Rams coach. Has won 13 straight overall on this floor.
Larry Eustachy's teams have always been great rebounding and very good defensive teams at every stop in his career.
Green the floater. Got it. 19-15, and Dorian Green adds on to the Colorado State lead, albeit slim right now. Wyoming hanging in there. 3 points for Green tonight.
What a great advantage when you've got a point guard like Dorian Green, who has started 118 games. Dorian Green has played through some pretty good point guards in this league, Tim. Darius, Maurice Gary from New Mexico. A couple of years ago, the Mountain West had some terrific point guards in the league.
And goaltending on Iverson, so count the basket for Leonard Washington. Tune in for more Mountain West basketball on Root Sports Wednesday night at 7 as the 20th ranked New Mexico Lobos host the Air Force Falcons at the Pit. Don't miss the best in college basketball right here on Root Sports. One of the great venues in all of college basketball is the Pit in Albuquerque.
Well, I was trying to make the point when Dorian Green was a freshman, he was playing against great point guards like Maurice Gary and Jimmer Fredette. DJ Gay were all older than him. Now he is the old veteran point guard in the league.
3-point lead for the Rams. Here's Washington trying to get to the basket. Hornung called for the block. Second foul on Hornung.
Washington can really work that baseline for a guy 6'7", 235. Really quick feet. Tough matchup for anyone in the league.
Five team fouls for Colorado State, 4 for the Cowboys, so nobody in the bonus yet. Hornung will take a seat. A pair of fouls to his credit. Gray ball, the inbound, Gilmore. Trying to use some clock as Wyoming normally does. Washington looking to get around Smith. He does. Leonard Washington powers his way to a score.
Off that baseline again, and not just the baseline, that right side baseline. He loves to work that right side.
Last 6 points have been scored for Wyoming. Washington with 4 of those 6. And in transition, the Pokes looking to tie this game or perhaps take the lead if they can knock down to 3.
The Cowboys getting some good minutes off their bench, especially Derek Cook Jr. He has not contributed a lot this year for him.
Gilmore took the 3, looking for the lead, and missed. 4 minutes to go first half. Foul is whistled. And Gilmore, the guilty party.
Again, Wyoming adhering to that age-old formula of winning one on the road. Just kind of hang around, and try to make a couple plays at the end. And boy, they are the experts, so to speak, at hanging around. Again, you'd think that Colorado State would have a big lead. 2-point lead.
That's the 7th team foul now for Wyoming, so Colorado State in the bonus. And Green earns the bonus. He'll have another free throw. Well, Larry Shyatt has done such a nice job since taking over the Wyoming program. He knows it's going to take a little bit to get the Cowboys better. They had a great 13-0 start this year. They've stumbled a bit lately in conference play, losing 3 in a row.
But Tim, that speaks volumes about this conference. At one time, they were the number 25 team in the nation, and they're next to last place in the league right now. This is just a terrific basketball league.
Graybo, no look inside, and the reverse lay-in's good by Derek Cook Jr.
I'll forgive Riley Graybo's previous 2 mistakes after a pass like that. That was pretty nifty there.
One thing Larry is not talking to his team about is the conference record. He doesn't think it matters right now what the position his team is in, because every game counts, conference or non-conference. Bejarano over the top, whistled for the foul, his first.
The Cowboy, they call him over in Laramie when he shows up, and which he does
often.
Almost all of them.
Take a look at the hustle board numbers. 16-7 in favor of rebounding for Colorado State. Bench fires that one up and didn't hit anything except the hands of Dorian Green, who's on the run out. Good bounce pass. Green gets it back. Eichmeyer feeds Smith.
Nice ball movement then by Colorado State, getting that ball reversed. You want to get it from one side to the other as many times as you can per possession.
Smith along well short. And a foul as Bejarano was going up for the shot following the rebound. Derek Cook Jr. whistled. That'll put Bejarano at the line. He's out of Phoenix, Arizona. 6'4". Led the bench in scoring with, rather in rebounding, I should say, against Boise State with 6 of them. As a freshman at the University of Arizona, managed to get into 8 games before deciding to transfer to Colorado State. Gilmore coming back in for Wyoming.
Very versatile player, can play a couple different positions, which just makes the bench longer. You know, you want to talk about numbers, but when you got guys that can play a couple different positions, even though it doesn't increase your numbers, it increases your depth.
3 points for Bejarano. 3-point lead for the Rams. 2.5 minutes to go, first half of this border war game. That would have been a 2 had it gone. Smith with the rebound.
What you call a pipe cut to a ball screen, where they ran Gilmore up the middle, and then a big comes up from the block and screens. A nice play. You got a great look at it.
Oh, Eichmeyer carried it. You don't see that call a lot. That's the 8th turnover for Colorado State. Coming up at halftime, I'll have a conversation with new CSU head coach Larry Eustace. Also, we'll check the scores from around the Mountain West. Already interesting today. And Joe and I will have the stats and highlights. Jenny will join us at halftime as well. Bench with a basketball for Wyoming left open for a moment. Green kind of sagging on him. And a foul is whistled on Smith, who was covering Washington. That'll be the first foul on Greg Smith.
Leonard Washington with 6 points. They're starting to get the ball to him a little more consistently now, but does not have a rebound right now. One of the top rebounders in the league. Needs to get busy.
Smith and Washington the matchup outside. 2 minutes on the game clock, first half. Smith's brother Dwight, who was a junior, redshirting this year. He played injured last season with an injured nose. They're redshirting this year. Fans wanted a foul on Washington, didn't get it. And Eichmeyer spots up. Cook rips the rebound away. And Wyoming with a possession. The 3 ball's been falling for them somewhat so far in the first half.
That's Colorado State. Anytime there's a ball screen for Gilmore, the Colorado State defender guarding the guy screen will squeeze that, put his body right up to the screeners, and Gilmore's defender will go under that. Coaches call that squeezing the ball screen.
And Graybo launching the long 3 off the screen. Bejarano the rebound off to Dorian Green. Green with the left-hand pass. Bejarano rises. He's got a 3. Big basket for DB Daniel Bejarano. Everybody's on their feet at Moby. Gilmore finding Washington. He'll try a 3. Bejarano ends up with the rebound. And Eichmeyer dribbling down the floor for Colorado State. They'll take the last shot. Green to Bejarano. He's fouled and he hits it. Oh, a bank 3-pointer. Washington committing a foul. What a big shot from Daniel Bejarano.
Not only a big shot, but the second foul now on Washington.
Washington came way out to get him and caught part of the arm. Bejarano with 1 6/10 seconds remaining on the clock, will go to the free throw line to try to convert a 4-point play. That is a big swing at the end of this first half of play.
Hey, Hirano, if he makes this 7 points in about the last less than a minute.
A 9-point lead, and that's how it'll be.